I wanted to do a video for you on question number 5 for the take-home final exam essay questions: photojournalism versus advertising. This video will be just a little bit longer because I want to go over a little bit of this PowerPoint with you just to remind you of some of the things we talked about. So this question number 5 is, what are some of the differences? By the way, when you click on this, it takes you to this page where you can download the PowerPoint, and this is what the PowerPoint looks like. We did go over it in class, but I want to go over it with you again just to remind you of some things that you may have forgotten about. Okay, so in this question, what are some differences between these two forms of visual communication? Photojournalism is visual, but advertising is also a visual communication. What rules do they go by? They do go by very different rules. What are their goals? What caused the change between text-based rational advertising and image-based emotional advertising? And finally, what lesson does this hold for journalism? Okay, so let's look at the beginning here. What are some differences between these two forms of visual communication? Let's go ahead and skip to a couple of important slides on the PowerPoint here. What does advertising try to do? Let's look at this for a second. Remember, advertising has one agenda: to sell you a product. As you can tell here on the right, this is an ad for a watch, but the guy is talking about crossing the Arctic Circle on skis pulled by reindeer. So this has nothing to do with the watch, but it tells you a story. This image of him on Everest or K2 or wherever he is meant to suggest that buying a Rolex will get you a little closer to being this adventurous person that you want to be. Is that rational? No, of course not. It's very irrational that buying a watch will help you climb Mount Everest. But that's not advertising's purpose, to be rational. It is supposed to instill an idea in your brain, no matter how crazy it is, that buying this product will solve some problem that you have or make you someone that you're really not. It's important to remember that the image has replaced the word as the dominant element in advertising. Notice how ads used to look a long time ago. A long time ago, it wasn't the image that sold the product. It used to be the text. In this watch ad, it was all about the text here: solid gold, new styles, new prices, new shapes. Look at all this about the product. Of course, that's not what modern ads look like a lot of the time. Don't know why my screen got dark, but okay, anyway. All right, so let's look at what caused the change between text-based rational advertising and image-based emotional advertising. The change happened in the 1920s, so about 100 years ago. This watch ad is a little over 100 years old, and this watch ad is much more recent. This shoe ad is more than 100 years old. This shoe ad is much more recent. And the way advertising used to work is that it told you about the product. Here, the shoe ad is telling you about the shoes. Here, it's telling you about the watches. But today, ads use images to suggest to you, without directly stating it, but suggesting to you that you can be a certain kind of person or have a certain kind of life only if you buy this product. Want to be adventurous? Buy this Rolex. You want to be irresistible to the opposite sex? Buy these shoes. Okay, so the change happened in the 20s, and the reason for the change was an explosion in an idea brought about by a guy named Sigmund Freud, who suggested that humans are not really rational creatures, but instead we are driven by unconscious desires that we don't even know are driving us. We don't even know that this is how we're operating. Okay, now let's look at photojournalism. The only agenda with photojournalism should be to tell the truth. Remember, we looked at several examples of photojournalists who got fired for altering their images. So, in photojournalism, you want to tell the truth. If the image is not true, you break the public's trust and probably get fired, at least if it's a legitimate news outlet. We also want the image to engage your rational side, not your irrational side, not your unreasonable side. If we have pictures of people starving, then that should engage our rational side. We should help those people. Here's a question for you, though, and you can get into this in your answer. Has the image replaced the word as the dominant element in journalism? We know that it has in advertising, but has the same happened in journalism? Is the text more important, or are the images more important? Feel free to get into that in your answer. So that's just a little bit more to help you answer question number 5, if this is one of the ones that you decide to do for your take-home final. All right, thanks a lot. Hope you're having a good day. Talk to you later.